I am a firm believer that the rest of your life is determined by the first 18 years of your life. And I say this because there are 10 things that you can do or not do that will literally shape the rest of your life. And I'm confident in this. Number one, listening to your parents. That is definitely some bullshit. Yes, uh, you know, all kids listen to their parents, and you should, to some extent, you should listen to your parents. If they tell you, if they tell you like, oh, don't do drugs, maybe you shouldn't do drugs, or don't jump off the cliff, maybe you shouldn't jump off the cliff. But at some point, listening to them all the time is not the right thing to do. It sounds like the right thing to do because they're the adult, you're the kid, or you're the one who's growing up. But even if they're right and you're wrong, that doesn't mean it'll serve you best. Sometimes it's good to be wrong because one, it'll teach you the lesson, so you'll still learn from it anyways. And two, you really gain some independence. You really gain some soul, because if you're listening to your parents all the time, like I used to do, you can't say you have a soul, because at the end of the day, your actions are dictated by your parents. Your life is dictated by your parents. What soul do you have, right? So yeah, don't always listen to your parents. I would say, actually, if you're super young or if you're approaching 18, don't listen. That's where you have enough maturity and enough knowledge yourself. You really don't need to listen to them, because at that point you can claim your own mistakes. They don't need to claim it for you, and at least you can discover yourself. I think that's what you should be doing. And for me, at least, that wasn't the case. But I hope for the majority of kids that are growing up that is the case. I just turned 18 though, so I don't really know. But anyways, number two, saving money. Everyone says save money, invest in the S&P 500 when you're 1 years old, and you're gonna be a millionaire by the time you're 30 or whatever. Yeah, sure, that's pretty cute, but I mean, really, unless you're some nepo baby, how much money could you possibly be saving up? Like, even the spoiled friends, the friends that I know who were spoiled by their parents, by the time they're like 18, by the time they were 18, or like, I mean, literally recently, by the time they grew up and graduated high school, they only had like 10K in their bank account. What's the point in saving that up? That's gonna get you like a cute car, like a 2015 Nissan Altima. But like, really, what is the point in saving up? If you think in terms of opportunity cost, saving up that money is it's a pretty bad deal. You could be saving up that money, like, congratulations, you get $10,000 in 18 years, or you could be doing whatever you want with it. And it's not even about like, oh, you need to invest your $10,000 or you need to day trade with it. Literally, even if you spend money on clothes, or if you blow all of your money on like some some good clothes or some haircut or whatever, like, that's still, I would consider that a better use of your money and a better investment than just saving up. Because at the end of the day, unless you're using your money for drugs or something, you're getting some value out of it. It's better than not using your money at all. Um, but yeah, so don't save up your money. Please spend it, whether it's on a business or whether it's on looking better. Like, that's something, bro. Please. Number three is not getting in trouble. Please get in trouble. Don't get in trouble to the point where you ruin your life or someone's life. But I feel like everyone needs to go through the reps of getting in trouble. And as someone who turned freshly 18, I feel like I'm qualified to speak on this, because I have not made a lot of mistakes growing up, and I didn't get in trouble a lot when I was growing up because I was a pretty good student. I listened to my parents all the time, but that now comes at the cost of me having this. I still act and I still take action, but I still do what I do. But sometimes I have this irrational fear, like, oh, what if I fail? What if I get in trouble? And that really sucks because a lot of people don't even realize it. You need to realize that getting in trouble is, at the end of the day, if it doesn't kill you, it's a good thing to do, because it will really condition you to to live the rest of your life. Because once you grow up, you're gonna have to deal with getting in trouble and a lot of bullshit all the time. So you might as well get used to it when you're young, and when you're older, you can have a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, number four, I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. I won't dive deep into it. Please do not play games. Playing video games is a horrible decision, and sounds like I'm some edgy like Sigma male dude saying it. But games every once in a while aren't that bad. But like if you dedicate, I say more than 5 hours a week to playing games, you got an issue because games are fun and all. It's a good way to relieve stress, escape reality. But there are much better things you can be doing. I genuinely still haven't figured out what ROI playing games has. Because I used to be a chronic gamer. I used to play games for literally 12 hours. Back in quarantine, I was grinding Valorant for 12 hours a day. Looking back, I'm like, what was the return on investment from me playing video games 12 hours a day? Like, really, what did I get from that? Because my hand-eye coordination is still pretty average, maybe like a little bit above average. Um, my eyes are worse now because I stared at the screen for too long. Like, there's really no benefit to playing video games other than like, oh, you get some dopamine. Like, sure, that's pretty cool for a bit, but then like there's really no value to show for it. What you sacrifice when you play video games is I guess your time, because I mean everything you sacrifice your time, but you don't even get anything back for spending time playing video games, unless you're like the top 0.0001% that become pro players. Anyways, number five is being good in school. This doesn't mean like if you're smart, you should pretend to be stupid. This means like you really it's the same thing as not listening to your parents. You don't need to be a perfect student who gets straight A's. You don't need to be what your teachers want you to be, because yes, school is a big part of your life. It's literally 18 years of your life, and it would be better if you um enjoyed it. But being good at school does not I don't see what it teaches you either. Like, I guess it teaches you to be obedient, which is good. Sometimes you need to be obedient, but in reality, once you're past middle school, being obedient kind of sucks. You can get bullied for it. You can be extremely risk averse. You can literally lose your soul because you're just gonna be listening to people all the time. What's the point in that? Um, this is my personal opinion, but school doesn't have much value at the state it's at right now. So what's the point of being good at it? If you're smart, allocate that to something else. Like if you're book smart, maybe instead of like studying for your math test, like go make a program or something. Um, but yeah, number six is having friends all the time. All right, now I really sound like I'm bullshitting. Having friends is good. You never want to be lonely. And I'm not saying it because like I was lonely. I was pretty lonely, but I still had friends at the end of the day. But if you have friends all the time and you're like always hanging out with your friends, or you're like super popular, sure, you're popular, but like how much of yourself do you really have? When you don't get to spend time alone, you really do lose yourself. And you can say like, "Oh, yeah, I can hang out with my friends and still be myself." But if you're spending majority of the time with your friends, and if you're so worried about your friends and building relationships with your friends only, you never have time to sit with yourself and think about what have I been thinking, what do I want, what are my hobbies, like all these things. And once you're past 18, or actually like maybe college, once you're past that point, that's something you do not get to consider anymore, in my opinion. When you're out there in the real world, working or doing whatever, you don't get time to think about like, oh, what hobby do I want to invest in? Like, bro, you should have had that when you should have realized that when you were younger. And it sounds harsh for me to say it, but like everything I'm saying right now is from internally. This is all things that I've experienced internally. I I wasn't some popular kid, but what I did do was I spent a lot of time worrying about my relationships with other people, whether it was my parents or my friends or my talking stages. I always spent a lot of time thinking about them, and now I don't have much to show for it. Now I'm in the stage of developing myself. Thank God I kind of realized it before it was too late. But yeah, um, so yeah, you don't need friends all the time. Sometimes it's pretty cool to be lonely. Being lonely isn't even a bad thing, by the way. It's only a bad thing if you don't know yourself, if you can't hang around yourself. Anyways, seven is taking your time. Taking your time and being patient are two different things. Being patient, I would consider, is good. Being patient is like discipline and perseverance and whatever. But taking your time, you know, let's say you have a new hobby or not a hobby. Let's say you have a goal you want to hit, but you're like, oh, dude, I still have 4 years of high school before I need to reach the goal. That sure, mentally that'll help you a little bit. You're not under some crazy mental strain, but at the same time, like yeah, you have the time, but does that mean you should be spending the time anyways? What's the point of waiting so long? What's the point of taking your time? Um, I wanted to play soccer. I wanted to try out in high school, and I probably could have made like B team at least. But yeah, probably B team. But I was like, oh, let me just take my time. I can do it sophomore year instead of junior or instead of freshman year. And then I waited until sophomore year, and I was like, wait, I still got time. Wait until junior year. Year hit, and I did not have time at all. So yeah, sometimes taking your time is not the best thing you can do. Being patient is good, but at the same time, you need to be proactive. You need to do stuff, even if it's scary, even if you might fail, because hey, at least you tried. Next, eight is worrying about your future. Now, this is really getting to a bullshitty type of video. I'm saying all the stuff that I'm like saying what seems like the worst advice, but really, you should not be worrying about your future at this age. You, if you're like 0 to 18, in my opinion, what is the point about worrying for your future? You're not even mature enough to worry about your future. Like there is no reason you should be thinking like, oh, you shouldn't be planning like, oh, when I'm 22, I'm gonna have a job at BlackRock, and then when I'm 23, I'm gonna get married and have kids. Like, dude, like sure, some people do that, but at the end of the day, it's a trap. And when you're older, you might regret it because a lot of choices you make at 0 to 18 are influenced by other people and are influenced by yourself. And at this age, you're not that developed yet. Like you really don't know what you want. So don't worry about your future. What you should worry about, or not worry about, what you should be focusing on is what you like to do in the moment, and what you want to do in the moment, and who you are. Because you can't know who your future self is gonna be, and it's not just about like you're too stupid to realize. Like even people that are old, like 30, 40 years old, nobody knows what their future self is going to be like. The only thing you can do is focus on your present self, even if the decisions you make might not be beneficial for your future self. Like there's nothing too wrong with like going out to a party and drinking. Like I don't do it, but like it's, I mean, yeah, it might fuck up your future a little bit, but hey, at least you get to discover that, oh, I really like drinking, or I really don't like drinking, or I like to be around people, or I don't like to be around people. At least you get to find something out about your current self. Don't worry about your future self because you'll go where you go. There's no controlling that. Um, Even if you're proactive, like, and you have goals, you'll still go where you end up, where you deserve to end up. And that's not something you should feel bad about. Number nine is being comfortable. This one is kind of like, no, it's being comfortable. Yeah. Being comfortable is, I mean, there's being comfortable is good. It's great for your mental. But do you really need to be comfortable at 0 to 18? Not really. Comfortable is really security. And do you need to be secure at 18 or growing up until you're 18? Not really. Um, as a matter of fact, I think you should be extremely unstable. You should be extremely, how do you say, you should vary a lot. You know, you should do that's a better alternative than being comfortable and being in one place all the time because you don't get to experience anything new when you're comfortable. who wants to go who wants to go out and do something when they're in their bed super comfortable? I have trouble with that. So it's fair to say like I get it, but it's like you should not be comfortable growing up. You should always have fun, have fun, but sometimes having fun is also being uncomfortable. You know, picking up a new hobby is not comfortable, but it is pretty fun. And last, number 10, this one is the cherry on top. This is the most important one, is not making decisions. This is by far the worst thing, worse than every other thing I said. Because if you don't make decisions, like it sounds like it's not bad. And by the way, what I mean by not making decisions is like not taking a risk or not trying to do something. You know, not having a goal in mind. It's not like literally standing still. But if you don't make decisions, you might think like, hey, what's wrong with not making decisions? If I don't take risk, what's wrong with that? I can still be content with myself. And yeah, sure. Good for you, I guess. But I feel like if you never make decisions, it's not like you it's not like you stay in place. Because if you stayed in place the whole time, then that's not too bad. Like I could consider that. But the reality is when you don't make decisions, you move back because there's something called time. When you let time pass by you and you stay the same person, you do the same things, you have the same hobbies, you think the same way, whatever, like you really move backwards. And that to me is failure because once enough time passes and you realize it, you really just wasted time for no reason. At least the people that made shitty decisions, like I know a lot of people that made horrible decisions, like my age and older. Like my mom's boyfriend, he might have made the worst decisions someone could have ever made, but at the end of the day, he's still more successful and he's still happier and he's still more well off than the person who did not make decisions their whole life. Like he was literally telling me about how he came back to his hometown, and this guy he knew since he was like super young, he was still wearing the same Metallica t-shirt and he was doing the same drugs. Like he literally did not move. He did not make any decisions. He did not take any risk. And yeah, well, he's still alive, but and he didn't make as many bad decisions as my mom's boyfriend did. But at the end of the day, my mom's boyfriend is still much more ahead of him uh, than him. And it's not about avoiding failure. It's not about avoiding failure. It's just about trying to move forward, and trying to move forward, unfortunately, comes with failure. So yeah, I think those are the 10 worst decisions you can make when you're growing up. I consider growing up like 0 to like 22, but like most of the time 0 to 18. Um, but yeah, uh, I'm not even sure if I'm qualified to speak on this because I'm only 18. I'm turning 19 soon, but I think it's still worth getting off my mind. Um, if you guys want to, if anyone's watching and you actually like what I said, or at least you found it entertaining, let me know what else I should talk about because I do have a YouTube channel for my personal brand. I really don't know what I'm gonna put on it. I'm already putting out bullshit on my TikTok and Instagram. So I might as well put out bullshit on my YouTube too, and hopefully someone listens to it and finds it either entertaining or helpful. I think this is pretty entertaining. I don't know if I would listen to myself for this long, but I do like talking. So yeah, let me know what you guys want me to talk about next.